They don't overspend. They pay their bills on time. They're honest, hardworking people, and yet, they're sinking into debt. Bankruptcy rarely begins with a major mistake. It creeps in through daily habits, automatic decisions, and false beliefs about money. In this video, you'll uncover the 3 invisible signs your finances may be on the edge, and what you can do right now to turn it all around before it's too late. Lisa Turner was a typical American mother living in suburban Ohio. She worked 2 jobs, carefully budgeting every dollar she earned. Despite her efforts, she found herself overwhelmed by growing credit card debt, mounting medical bills, and the pressure of supporting her teenage son. The stress was suffocating. What Lisa didn't realize was that she was exhibiting 3 key signs that countless others in the U.S. face daily, silent warning flags pointing toward financial collapse. Her story is not unique, it is a reflection of a deeper problem many good people fall victim to. The first sign Lisa exhibited was consistently relying on credit to cover basic expenses. Studies show that nearly 60% of American households use credit cards to pay for essentials like groceries or utilities at some point during financial hardship. What feels like a temporary fix slowly morphs into a dangerous cycle of debt, where minimum payments mask the growing burden. Lisa's minimum payments barely touched the principal balance, and interest charges ballooned, making it harder to escape the spiral. Secondly, Lisa's savings were nearly non-existent. According to a Federal Reserve report, almost 40% of Americans wouldn't be able to cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing or selling possessions. The lack of emergency funds leaves families vulnerable to unexpected costs, turning a small crisis into a financial disaster. When Lisa's car broke down and her health insurance premiums increased, she had no buffer, forcing her deeper into debt. Third, and often overlooked, was Lisa's limited financial literacy. Many Americans lack a clear understanding of credit scores, interest rates, and budgeting principles. Without this knowledge, small mistakes compound. For Lisa, missed opportunities to refinance high-interest loans or negotiate payment plans added unnecessary strain. Her story echoes the findings of a national survey indicating that 65% of adults feel uninformed about managing their finances effectively. The causes behind these signs are complex but rooted in common financial behaviors. The culture of consumerism encourages spending beyond means, while stagnant wages and rising living costs squeeze budgets tighter every year. Meanwhile, financial education remains scarce in schools and communities, leaving many unprepared to navigate the increasingly complicated world of personal finance. However, there is hope. Lisa discovered the power of financial coaching and education. By working with a nonprofit credit counseling agency, she learned to track her spending meticulously, prioritize debt repayment using the debt snowball method, and build a modest emergency fund step by step. Small lifestyle adjustments, like meal planning and reducing subscription services, freed up cash flow to accelerate her recovery. Moreover, she accessed online resources and apps that helped her monitor credit scores and identify unnecessary fees. These tools provided transparency and control she never had before. The transformation was gradual but real. Within 18 months, Lisa paid off 2 credit cards, stabilized her finances, and regained peace of mind. Lisa's journey highlights crucial lessons for anyone facing financial uncertainty. First, recognize and confront the warning signs early, don't wait for a crisis to force action. Second, seek reliable financial education and professional advice to build effective strategies tailored to your situation. Third, embrace small, consistent changes. Sustainable recovery is a marathon, not a sprint. In practical terms, experts recommend starting with a realistic budget that accounts for all income and expenses, cutting non-essential spending, and prioritizing high-interest debts. Establishing an emergency fund, even if small at first, provides a vital cushion. Finally, stay informed about financial products and your credit status to avoid surprises. The data speaks clearly. According to a 2023 study by the National Endowment for Financial Education, individuals who engage in ongoing financial education are 40% more likely to avoid bankruptcy and build wealth over time. Lisa's story is a testament to these findings, a real person overcoming adversity through knowledge and persistence. The chapter closes with a powerful reminder: bankruptcy is not a failure of character but often the result of systemic issues and a lack of accessible resources. By identifying these 3 warning signs early, anyone can take control of their financial future and steer clear of disaster. Lisa's experience proves that with the right tools and mindset, recovery is possible. Michael Reynolds was a middle-aged factory worker from Michigan who found himself trapped in a financial pit he couldn't climb out of. After a layoff, his unemployment benefits barely covered the bills, and his savings evaporated quickly. Like many Americans, Michael struggled to regain stability and wondered if bankruptcy was inevitable. But his story also reveals the real strategies that helped him climb out of the hole, strategies anyone facing financial crisis can apply. Michael's first step was acknowledging the depth of his problem. Denial is common among those nearing financial collapse. Research from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau shows that 70% of struggling individuals delay seeking help due to shame or fear. This delay often worsens their situation, increasing debt and reducing options. Michael's moment of clarity came after a particularly stressful call from a collections agency, prompting him to take control. Next, Michael sought out professional help through a credit counseling service. These nonprofit organizations offer free or low-cost advice, helping individuals understand their finances and create realistic repayment plans. Studies indicate that people who engage with credit counselors reduce their unsecured debt by an average of 25% within 18 months. For Michael, this guidance was a game changer. He learned to prioritize debts, negotiate with creditors, and consolidate payments where possible. A key strategy Michael adopted was the avalanche debt repayment method, focusing on paying off debts with the highest interest rates first. This approach minimizes interest paid over time and accelerates debt reduction. He combined this with strict budgeting, cutting unnecessary expenses such as dining out and unused subscriptions, redirecting those funds to debt payments. Michael also tapped into community resources like food banks and utility assistance programs to ease immediate financial pressures. According to Feeding America, over 50 million Americans experience food insecurity, and such programs can provide critical short-term relief, freeing up funds for debt repayment. This practical step helped Michael stabilize his monthly expenses while he worked on long-term recovery. On the income side, Michael explored opportunities for extra earnings. He started driving for a rideshare company and took freelance handyman jobs. Research from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that nearly 30% of American workers engage in gig economy jobs for supplemental income. These extra earnings significantly improved his cash flow, allowing him to stay current on bills and chip away at his debts. Importantly, Michael committed to improving his financial literacy. He took free online courses on budgeting and credit management, equipping himself with tools to avoid past mistakes. According to a study published by the National Endowment for Financial Education, people who complete financial education programs are 30% more likely to maintain positive financial habits long-term. Michael's journey was neither quick nor easy, but after 2 years of disciplined effort, he was debt-free and rebuilding savings. He credits the combination of professional advice, strategic repayment, increased income, and education for his turnaround. His story underscores a critical truth: escaping financial collapse requires a multifaceted approach. The broader lesson is clear from data and real experience alike. Bankruptcy often stems from a convergence of issues: lack of awareness, insufficient income, poor financial habits, and unexpected emergencies. But by breaking down the problem into manageable parts, individuals can regain control. The steps Michael took reflect a blueprint that others can adapt, tailored to their unique circumstances. In closing, Michael's experience offers hope. It shows that no matter how dire the situation may seem, recovery is possible through informed action and perseverance. He reminds us that while the path may be tough, the reward of financial freedom and peace of mind is worth the effort. Jessica Martinez had always prided herself on being responsible with money. A single mother living in Texas, she juggled her job as a school secretary and raising her 2 kids. But after unexpected expenses piled up, car repairs, medical bills, and rising rent, Jessica found herself overwhelmed. What Jessica lacked was not effort but solid financial education, a gap that many Americans share, which often leads to costly mistakes and financial instability. Financial literacy remains a major obstacle in preventing bankruptcy. According to a 2022 report by the FINRA Investor Education Foundation, only 34% of Americans could correctly answer basic financial literacy questions, such as understanding interest rates, inflation, or risk diversification. This lack of knowledge means many people like Jessica unintentionally fall into common financial traps, overspending, mismanaging debt, or missing out on available assistance programs. Jessica's story illustrates how education transformed her approach to money. After attending a local workshop on budgeting and credit management, she realized how critical it was to track every dollar and understand her credit report. Many Americans overlook the importance of reviewing their credit scores regularly, but this simple habit can prevent surprises like sudden interest rate hikes or loan denials. In fact, data from experience shows that consumers who check their credit reports quarterly have better credit scores on average. One of the first things Jessica did was create a zero-based budget, where every dollar earned was assigned a purpose, from essentials to debt repayment and savings. This method helped her prioritize expenses and avoid unnecessary spending. She also set up automatic bill payments to prevent late fees and protect her credit score, a small change that had a big impact. Understanding interest rates was a game changer for Jessica. She learned to distinguish between good debt, like a mortgage or student loans, and bad debt, such as high-interest credit cards. By focusing on paying off high-interest debts first, she minimized the money lost to interest, freeing up more resources for savings and essentials. Jessica also took advantage of free online tools and apps designed to improve money management. Budgeting apps provided real-time spending alerts, helping her stay within limits. Credit monitoring services alerted her to any changes or potential fraud. These tools provided her with control and confidence she never had before. The impact of education extended beyond budgeting. Jessica began exploring investment basics, understanding how even small, regular contributions to a retirement account or a diversified fund could grow wealth over time. According to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, early financial education and investing can dramatically improve long-term financial security, especially for those in middle and lower income brackets. Jessica's story underscores a vital truth: education is not a luxury, but a necessity for financial stability. The gap in financial literacy contributes to many personal bankruptcies, yet it is also the most accessible tool to prevent them. By empowering themselves with knowledge, individuals can avoid common pitfalls and build a foundation for lasting security. In practical terms, experts recommend starting with basic financial education resources available through community centers, libraries, and reputable online platforms. Learning about budgeting, credit scores, debt management, and investment basics can save thousands of dollars in the long run. Jessica's transformation demonstrates how education combined with practical tools can change a life. This chapter closes with a message of empowerment. Financial literacy is the key to breaking the cycle of debt and fear. For Jessica, it opened doors to smarter decisions, greater peace of mind, and a more hopeful future, a future that anyone can achieve with the right knowledge and support. David Johnson, a 42-year-old teacher from Atlanta, faced a turning point after years of financial struggle. His salary barely covered his family's needs, and unexpected expenses were eroding his savings. But David discovered that relying solely on a single income source was risky. To regain control, he began exploring additional streams of income and smarter investments, a strategy many financial experts now consider essential for long-term security and bankruptcy prevention. Supplemental income opportunities are increasingly accessible thanks to technology and the gig economy. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, nearly 30% of workers engage in side gigs or freelance work. David started by tutoring students online and eventually launched a small weekend photography business. These extra earnings helped him accelerate debt repayment and build a safety net. Beyond earning more, David learned the importance of investing wisely. Many people associate investing with high risk or think it's only for the wealthy, but data shows that even modest investments can yield substantial benefits over time. The power of compound interest means that starting early and contributing regularly to retirement accounts or low-cost index funds can significantly improve financial stability. David also embraced the practice of diversification, spreading money across different investment types to reduce risk. This included a mix of stocks, bonds, and real estate investment trusts, REITs. According to a 2023 report from Morningstar, diversified portfolios tend to recover faster from market downturns, a crucial factor in avoiding financial collapse during economic shocks. Another key to David's success was adopting a mindset of continuous learning. He read books, followed financial blogs, and attended webinars to stay informed about market trends and tax strategies. This knowledge allowed him to make smarter decisions, such as maximizing tax-advantaged accounts like 401(k)s and IRAs, and avoiding costly fees or scams. Importantly, David didn't overlook the significance of protecting his assets. He acquired adequate insurance coverage, health, life, disability, to shield his family from unexpected financial burdens. Statistics from the Insurance Information Institute reveal that lack of proper insurance is a leading cause of personal bankruptcy in the U.S., often following medical emergencies or accidents. David's journey illustrates how combining additional income streams with smart investments and protection measures creates a financial buffer that can prevent bankruptcy. While it requires time, effort, and discipline, the payoff is the ability to weather life's uncertainties without falling into a debt trap. Practical advice emerging from David's experience includes starting small. Picking a side hustle that fits your skills and schedule, automating investments to maintain consistency, and reviewing insurance policies regularly to ensure adequate coverage. Financial advisors recommend setting clear goals and tracking progress, turning abstract plans into achievable steps. The broader lesson is clear: relying on a single paycheck in today's economic environment is increasingly risky. Diversifying income and investments is no longer optional but a necessary strategy to build resilience. Data from the Federal Reserve shows that households with multiple income sources and investments have lower default rates and higher savings. David's story closes on an optimistic note: by proactively expanding income and investing wisely, anyone can create a financial safety net strong enough to prevent bankruptcy and support long-term goals. It's a roadmap from vulnerability to stability. A path that's open to all who choose to take it. After years of financial turbulence, Rachel Thompson, a small business owner in Ohio, learned that surviving a crisis isn't enough. Maintaining financial security for the long term requires building sustainable habits and systems. Her journey from near bankruptcy to stability reveals how ongoing vigilance and smart planning are essential to protect against future risks and build lasting wealth. Rachel's turning point came after narrowly avoiding bankruptcy following a costly business downturn. She realized that temporary fixes like loans or side gigs weren't sufficient. To secure her future, Rachel adopted a comprehensive approach focused on sustainability, incorporating budgeting, saving, investing, and risk management into her daily routine. Central to Rachel's strategy was building an emergency fund. Financial advisors recommend saving 3 to 6 months of living expenses to cushion against job loss, unexpected repairs, or economic downturns. According to a 2024 survey by Bankrupt, nearly 40% of Americans still lack any emergency savings, making them vulnerable to financial shocks. Rachel started small, setting aside a fixed percentage of income monthly, and gradually built a fund that eventually covered 6 months' worth of expenses. Rachel also embraced automation. Automating bill payments, savings contributions, and investment deposits. This reduced the chance of missed payments and made consistent saving effortless. Studies from behavioral economics suggest that automation helps overcome human biases like procrastination and impulsive spending, crucial for long-term financial health. Another pillar of Rachel's plan was regular financial checkups. She scheduled quarterly reviews of her budget, debts, savings, and investments, adjusting her plans as life circumstances changed. This habit allowed her to detect potential issues early and make proactive decisions, preventing small problems from escalating. Risk management was a vital element. Rachel ensured she had adequate insurance, not just for health and property, but also business interruption and liability. She consulted professionals to create a financial safety net that protected her and her family against unforeseen setbacks. Sustainable investing also became part of Rachel's strategy. She focused on low-cost, diversified portfolios aligned with her risk tolerance and goals. Over time, this approach delivered steady growth, allowing her to rebuild savings and plan for retirement. Experts agree that a disciplined, patient investment approach is the cornerstone of financial security. Rachel's story highlights that escaping bankruptcy is not a one-time event but an ongoing process requiring discipline, education, and planning. Many people recover only to fall back into trouble because they neglect sustainability. The key to lasting security lies in building strong financial habits and regularly reviewing one's situation. Importantly, Rachel also prioritized financial education for herself and her family. She involved her children in money conversations and encouraged continuous learning. Financial literacy is a lifelong journey, and fostering it across generations helps break the cycle of financial hardship. The lessons from Rachel's experience echo broader economic data. Households that maintain emergency funds, invest regularly, and conduct periodic financial reviews show greater resilience during recessions and personal crises. This approach reduces the likelihood of bankruptcy and supports steady wealth accumulation. In conclusion, Rachel's transformation offers a hopeful blueprint. Lasting financial security depends on proactive, sustainable practices, saving consistently, managing risks, investing wisely, and committing to ongoing education. While the path requires effort and persistence, it ultimately leads to peace of mind and freedom from financial fear. Mark Wilson, a 38-year-old software engineer from Colorado, once believed financial collapse was something that happened only to others. But a sudden job loss triggered a cascade of challenges that brought him dangerously close to bankruptcy. Mark's story, however, is not just about hardship, it's a powerful testament to resilience, transformation, and the importance of a comprehensive financial strategy. When Mark lost his job, his first instinct was panic. Without a steady income, his bills piled up quickly. Like many Americans, he underestimated how rapidly financial stability can erode. Data from the Federal Reserve reveals that nearly 40% of U.S. adults would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing or selling something. Mark's experience highlights this alarming reality. Instead of giving in to despair, Mark took deliberate steps to reclaim control. He started by reassessing his entire financial picture, taking inventory of debts, expenses, assets, and income opportunities. This clear-eyed assessment is essential, yet often avoided due to fear or denial. Studies show that individuals who confront their finances head-on are significantly more likely to recover from financial crises. Mark then prioritized creating a balanced budget that accounted for essentials and minimized discretionary spending. He used technology tools to track expenses daily and set alerts to prevent overspending. This habit introduced discipline and transparency into his finances, laying the foundation for recovery. Recognizing the limitations of his current income, Mark pursued multiple streams of earnings, from freelance coding projects to selling in used belongings. This diversified approach not only improved cash flow but also provided a psychological boost, empowering him to actively fight his way out of crisis. Another critical step was building a robust emergency fund. Even after facing hardship, Mark committed to saving a small percentage of his income each month. This financial cushion transformed his sense of security and reduced stress, supporting better decision-making during uncertain times. Mark also sought professional financial advice to restructure his debts and explore consolidation options. Working with a certified credit counselor helped him negotiate lower interest rates and manageable payment plans, alleviating the pressure of overwhelming obligations. Perhaps the most transformative element of Mark's journey was his commitment to ongoing financial education. He immersed himself in learning about credit management, investment strategies, tax planning, and retirement savings. This knowledge armed him with the tools to not only recover but also build lasting wealth. Mark's experience reflects broader lessons for anyone at risk of bankruptcy. Financial collapse rarely occurs overnight, it results from a series of overlooked signs and poor habits. But recovery is equally a process, one fueled by awareness, action, and perseverance. Data supports this. Households that adopt comprehensive financial strategies, including budgeting, income diversification, debt management, emergency savings, and education, are far less likely to face bankruptcy. These strategies create resilience that buffers against economic downturns and personal setbacks. In closing, Mark's story is one of hope and empowerment. While financial crises can feel isolating and overwhelming, the path to recovery is clear and achievable. It requires confronting reality, embracing change, and committing to continuous improvement. The final message is simple yet profound: financial security is not a destination but a lifelong journey. With the right mindset, tools, and support, anyone can turn their financial life around and build a future free from fear and uncertainty.